1.
Hi, this is Ken from MyToshGarage.com, and I'm getting ready to mount the body of my Lamborghini Diablo Roadster kit car onto my Fiero chassis. And today what I'd like to do is show you what I've done to the Fiero chassis in preparation for mounting the body. So let's take a look. We're going to start at the front of the car and we're going to go around part of it to see exactly how it's all coming together. We're starting here with the tubular steel bumper with mounting points for the body. It's going to attach right there, with side mounting points for the trunk and the hinge for the deck lid. You can see all the air conditioning accessories from the stock Fiero chassis. What we've done here is we have a 1-inch sway bar that is an upgrade to the original suspension package. I'd also like to point out the 85 Chevette power steering rack with the Flaming River U-joint that we have in there. Really excited to be able to put power steering on a Fiero chassis here, so I think this will be a good resource for you. As we move around the car, take a look at the front suspension. Have a Held Motorsport wide track suspension. It was widened by 2 inches from the original suspension to give it more of a stance of the Lamborghini Diablo car. We also have the tubular A-arms here with coilover springs. You'll also notice the airbag that's used to be able to go over speed bumps. We also have 13-inch rotors from Held Motorsports along with Wilwood calipers, and they're the quad piston calipers. Attached a little logo on there for the Brembo logo, just like the original Lamborghini. You'll notice the hinge beam that goes across the entire portion of the car into the windshield frame supports. It comes along down the side of the car here and goes starting to the back of the car. You'll notice the main suspension support here, which is a 2x3-inch, 1-inch thick tubular piece of steel that's attached to the bottom of the chassis by a 1-inch thick piece of metal that really gives the strength there. I'd like to span on up to some reinforcing that we've done in the middle of the floor pan here, which is a weak point, so welded in additional reinforcing along with a piece of tube that is used to mount the body on and provide reinforcing across the middle of the car here into the middle pillars. Let's go ahead and move on back. Take a look at right here. Had to move the firewall up 6 inches to be able to make room for the engine cover kit. Also have mounting points welded in so that the hinge brackets for the rear deck lid have a great place to mount. Also made note of a couple of brackets here so that are guides to be able to sit the body on so that it's perfectly centered. Also here, if you'll notice that I had to cut the car completely in half and extend it by 11 inches. Maybe a little bit hard to see here, but have plates that bring the rear of the engine together and extend it by 11 inches and actually move the mounting points for the engine cradle back as opposed to cutting the engine cradle in half and really jeopardizing the strength of it and the alignment of it. Just put a piece of tubular steel in here and move the engine cradle back, which worked out really well as far as being able to bring everything together. Here in the rear of the car we have a mounting point for the body. Had to adjust the rear shock towers a little bit to have a little bit more room for the clearance when the body is mounted. Here in the rear suspension part we have a 3-inch wide track suspension from Held Motorsports. Again, the 13-inch calipers with the Wilwood rotors with the Wilwood calipers here. Stainless steel brake lines all across the car, along with a bump steer suspension package to be able to eliminate any shifting it does when you're going over bumps. Let's go ahead and move to the rear of the car here. Again, you can see the reinforcement that's done along the rear of the shock tower. Moving through the rear of the car here, additional reinforcing so that the body can sit right down on the piece of steel, along with additional mounting points here in the back of the car. The L brackets here are to be able to mount brackets for the rear of the car, of a deck lid, and also to provide guides so when the body mounts on the back of the car it is going to be perfectly centered, so I don't have to worry about that. You can see additional reinforcing here on the rear of the car between the chassis end rails to really provide stiffness in the back so that as you're going down the road you won't be able to have any shift there as well. Polyurethane bushings all across the entire car in the suspension package and in the engine cradle compartment. We did want to make note here of what we've been able to do with the exhaust system. engineered a Borla exhaust system here, and you can see the flux points in here and additional mounting points for the tailpipes once I mount the body in. So hopefully this has been helpful for you. I had a lot of fun putting the chassis together, and now I'm looking forward to mounting the body. So the next time you should be able to see me is mounting the body and actually being able to take shape of the car for the final time. Thank you very much.